Before we jump in, a warning that we are an explicit book podcast.
Yes, that means swearing, shitty jokes, and a whole lot of dark humour that some may take offence to.
Please check your trigger warnings on all of the books we cover.
You've been warned.
The episode starts in 3, 2, 1.
A book and a bear. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of A Book and a Bear podcast. Woo! Woo! Oh my god, it's amazing! Round of applause.
Oh, wow. Sycophants.
Anyway, we are here today covering the one, the only, the magnificent, the fantasy book.
Movie?
Fourthwing! Fourthwing, everyone!
There's only one fantasy book. Only one. It's this one.
And it's this one. Fourthwing. So, what are we drinking today, ladies?
In honour of Shadow Daddy Zayden, I am drinking Johnny Walker and cola.
Oh, Shadow Daddy. Hi.
Another one.
We need several.
TJ Khaled.
Oh, again?
I hate
Right. Okay, well, I have Red Bull because it's just becoming my drink of choice at the moment. I need caffeine as lifeblood, and this will do.
Yeah,
this will do.
Fair, actually.
Well, I was terrified that I was getting sick again after just getting better.
Oh
So
my
I am
gosh.
drinking orange juice.
Orange juice is thematic, though, because Jack
Oh my
can't deal with
god.
oranges.
Yeah.
You can-
Fuck
Fucking
Jack.
have some of this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
Drink up.
Anyway, how was the book for us all individually as individual people?
I reckon I'm having some camera issues for a second. Ellie, do you want to go?
Yes. I think this is a perfect entry-level fantasy book. It's got all your key winners, dragons, smutty dragons, slow burn, and a shadow daddy.
Say less.
What more could you want? I fucking loved reading it. I really enjoyed Violet's character and her independence, especially when it came to Dane, when he started giving off those Tamlin vibes. Which,
Yeah.
ick. My personal favourites from the book, Xaden, obviously. Tiny baby dragon. Grumpy old man dragon. Literal reincarnation of the ninja warrior course on a cliff edge for training purposes. And lightning orgasms. Yes.
Say less.
Yeah, need I say more? That's it.
Lightning fucking orgasms.
All right. Well, look, I'll
Granny,
tell you
you're
how.
gone.
Yeah, you're gone. You're just a bee. That is what she was doing. Did you just make a diorama? I don't understand. Oh, it's the lizard head. No,
I'm a
she's a
dragon.
dragon. That took me way too long to work out what you were. I thought you'd literally done an art project for this moment. Oh my god. You look like a lizard.
You do. It is my 2-year-old nephew's dinosaur costume. I have no regrets. None.
That's what she was doing.
None but
Oh.
this. But we did not have time.
I think wings or gills.
It's meant to be like a you situation.
Look, we'll call it wings for the project.
I wouldn't put
Okay.
it past you to fucking make that, by the way. Like, as she's re-listening to the audiobook for the 7th time, she's just crafting herself a dinosaur head.
Say less.
Oh my god.
Yeah, look, so for those that are audio only, I am wearing a dinosaur/dragon hat, and I am going to try and leave this on for the next 5 minutes while I tell you what I thought about the book. But my mouth can't really move because it's too tight.
Oh, it's designed for a 2-year-old, so that's
Yeah,
why.
look, that's fair. What in the Azrael and Abraxas fan fiction is in this book? I cannot get over the fact that in 1 year, we have had not only like 2 amazing fantasy books come out, aka Carissa Broadbent's Serpent and the Wings of Night, but also this one, like in the same year.
I know.
Can I also just say that when you said Azrael and Abraxas fanfic, I thought you were talking about some
Azrael
monster
stalking
romance. Yeah. And I was like,
That
when
would-
did that happen? Did I miss that?
Obviously, yes, this book isn't the most beautiful or like the best written book I've ever read. It could be like very clumsy, and sometimes I hesitate to say lazy with the info dumping, and sometimes like the analogies were just too much. Like the whole we spun out like a spinning wheel thing, but that doesn't change the fact that I was hooked from chapter 1 and I could not put this book down. It was just so much fun to read. Did Dane give me like a Gale from the Hunger Games vibes? Absolutely, he did. And did it also give me From Blood and Ash vibes at a certain point, which meant that I wasn't really surprised by Xaden's quote-unquote big reveal? Also, yes.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm obsessed and started rereading this book as soon as I finished it. And it is also like the first audiobook I tried, which I mentioned when we were doing our catch-up episode. I'm a baby audiobook listening gal, but when it had 2 narrators listed on the ad for it, and the only thing you get is that man's voice for the Xaden Epilogy chapter, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that happens in basically all of them. You get the rare occasion, that Sick Love that I'm listening to right now, that has dual POV, but it rarely happens.
Yeah, and like, I mean, that makes sense, but that's what I was hoping for, and I was really, really sad that I didn't get it.
In the audiobook for this, there was like pauses in chapters where we'd finish up a scene and we'd move to the next scene, but it was still in the same chapter. But there wasn't a big enough break in the audiobook to reflect that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, because I hadn't read the book while I was listening to the audiobook. That threw me a little bit, but
my audiobooks I listen to really fast, so there are no pauses, there are no breaks. What an absolute roller coaster of emotions. If you're looking for an easy to devour fantasy book, this is for you. Not only is it like not super world building heavy, but it's got tension, trials, blood, death, a whirlwind romance that keeps you on your toes. And did I mention that this is enemies to fucking lovers?
Oh, smash.
oh my
Take
God.
me as I am. It had twists, it had turns, and it literally like threw me out of my seat a couple of times because I love being an overdramatic bitch, and she's like gasping, but in fantasy book, you know? Gasping. It's a fantasy gasp. It's not a gay gasp. It's a fantasy
It's a fasp.
It's a fast. It's a fast. But yes, I am so excited for the second book in this series to see like what comes of the characters after everything that they've been through, especially in the last few chapters. It was a great book. Yes, it definitely wasn't a literary masterpiece, but I'm willing to look over it because it was enjoyable.
All right, who do we meet in this book?
There's a fuck ton.
So we've got Violet Sorrengale, our FMC, who is not only glorious disability rep, but also it gives us a fuck around and find out vibes with a knife. She is the youngest daughter of a dickhead general, Lilith Sorrengale, which odd name choice. It's making me give her the side eye, but we'll get there. And because she is the main character, obviously one parent has died, and that is her dad.
Yes.
Then we have Xaden Ryerson, the male main character. I don't know. Do we say MMC? He's not really main character. He's only got like one point of view. I don't know. I take that back.
Technically, he is the male main character, though.
Yeah. Xaden is the son of a disgraced and executed traitor. He's the oldest of 107 kids left behind by a failed uprising and bonded to a badass female dragon called Segale. I love that. Because he is our love interest, he also has no parents.
Yes. By the way, when Bryony said he's the oldest of 107 kids, not in the same family.
No, not the same. We've got Rhiannon, our female bestie with kick-ass skills to boot. Unsure if she is bi or pan, but she is a lover and a fighter, so smash.
Mm-hmm.
Smash.
We have Dane Atos, aka Gail Hawthorne 2.0, childhood bestie that stunts our growth and is a little bitch.
We don't need anything to stunt our growth. Thank you.
Nah, fuck that. We've got Liam Mowry. I want to say Mary.
I was going to say Liam Neeson.
Liam is our new best friend, younger foster brother to Xaden, and just an absolute badass, and I'm not okay saying his name. There's Mira, Violet's sister, Brennan, Violet's dead brother, Lilith, Violet's bitch mum. So there's just a lot going on, you know. There's a lot of people. And then there's also the dragons.
I am going to absolutely fucking butcher these names, and I don't care because I don't have time to care about them at this point.
Don't have time for pronunciation.
You did it well, though. The first one's the hardest, Segale, and you said that one, right?
Segale. And then there's Tan, and then there's Adana, I think.
Seagull, Tan, Adidas.
All that.
Fuck it up.
We're going to do our first few chapters really fucking quick here because the best shit comes later, and that's what I want to talk about. But for context, we meet Violet, who by all standards is a nerdy pale bookworm, aka one of us.
One of us.
Her absolute cunt of a mother, who is also the general of their army, forces her to enlist in the riders' quadrant of the conscription, despite her sister's literal begging. Mira basically says, "Mother, look at her. she simply will not survive.
She's but a weak piece of lettuce.
She is teeny tiny. As it turns out, Violet has some not really spoken about disability, like we don't get a name for it, but it was due to a fever when Cunty Mum was pregante. It means that Violet has some sick highlights and some dodgy joints. Rocking it. There's family backstory with a lot of trauma, as we've discussed, complete with a dead dad and a dead brother. The aim of the game here is to be conscripted to the Biscayath War College in one of 4 quadrants. You've got healers, you've got scribes, you've got infantry, and you've got riders. Tell me, what is your chosen quadrant?
Look, realistically, I feel like we'd all be in scribes, but I want to be a rider. I want to be on the dragons. But
I would already be
would
dead.
Die. I wouldn't make it past the parapet. I'd be like, la 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 la, woo!
Yeah, no,
I would be that child that they take out and they're like, oh, absolutely not. No.
Nope. I think
that one doesn't get to choose.
I know my own weaknesses and I'm afraid of heights. So flying, not great for me. But I reckon I could be a healer because I like Grey's Anatomy and that feels kind of cool. I'm a healer. That sounds really good. I'm a doctor. She's just upskilled in the course of minutes.
Hi. I am a doctor.
I am a doctor. Oh my God. She's a sexy doctor now. Wow. So most people who want to be writers train for literal years to get to this point, and our girl has had 6 months, thanks to Mummy Dearest. It's from this point, it's drilled into us as readers just how many people are killed, either before they even get accepted as writers or during their training. Sounds like a super fun time.
One of us.
One of us.
Except for me, because I'm the sexy doctor on the ground.
Ellie's watching us fall off the parapet being like, I can't help with that.
That's above my pay grade.
Dead.
My diagnosis dead.
Yeah, someone's sitting there like, oh my God, my arm has been like eaten by a dragon, and you're like, dead.
So
Close
really
your
dead.
eyes. Eyes closed. Oh no, she's dead. Don't listen to her. She slowly smothers her mouth.
Oh God, no, that would definitely be me. At least Violet has Mirror, who sets her straight before walking her off to conscription. Violet literally tries to pack a satchel of books when she has the core strength of a mouse. It's not going to work for her.
No.
She gets some fancy boots and some fancy clothes and a fancy dragon vest thing, and she's all set, with parting words of advice from Mirror, who tells Violet to find Dane, her childhood bestie that she kind of wants to bone, and stay away from Xaden, who wants to kill her. So immediately we are all interested.
Yes.
Yep.
In a nutshell, Xaden's dad led a rebellion against their nation, who I keep thinking of as the Navarro cheerleading college, you know, the one that the Netflix documentary was about.
Oh my God.
Anyone in said rebellion was executed and the children copped some tattoo art and then were forced to conscript to the Riders Quadrant, which they will likely die at. So that seems like good government. Xaden's dad killed Violet's brother and Violet's mother killed Xaden's dad, and they're just one big happy family.
It's so nice.
Our first challenge is the parapet. So I want you to picture a teeny tiny stone bridge with no railing stretching 50 metres on top of a cliff. Add in rain and wind and one jackass conveniently named Jack, who may or may not chase you across intending your death. Oh, and you only have one good shoe. Yeah, that's Violet's experience. But this is where we meet Rhiannon, who has the other good shoe, and Dylan, a literal golden retriever, who dies immediately. Don't get attached suddenly.
Don't get attached to Dylan. He's holding his fiance's ring and he's like, we're gonna get married when I graduate. I was like, oh,
he's
honey.
Death.
No.
Death upon you. Fuck. We also meet Xaden, and he is described as the most exquisite man I've ever seen. Daddy.
Sarah J. Maas has trained me for this. I know that is the love of my life.
Yeah, we know. We've been here before.
We have indeed. In an interesting writing quirk, we get an info dump of world building through Violet's inner monologue as she's trying to distract herself whilst walking across the parapet. And I didn't mind it, to be fair.
I didn't either. I thought it was a really good way. Like, if she's a bookworm, if she's a nerd, and throughout this whole book it's talked about how smart she is, I think it was a really clever way to do it.
Yeah. We got a lot of information. None of it sunk in, but we got it.
Couldn't tell you what she said.
No. So our girl has been chased the last 5 metres of the parapet by none other than one of our least favourite blondes, Jack Barlow.
Jack Sparrow.
Oh no, we like that one, and he's not blonde.
You have to picture him doing his run, but on the parapet.
That would
it's actually not him shouting, being like, I'm going to kill you. It's him being like,
From here on out, Jack Barlow is Jack Sparrow, but he is also a misogynistic wankstain, and he thinks Violet will be a liability to her squad, so it's better for everyone if he just kills her. Cool. Argyle has other plans, because as he jumps to safety behind her, she whirls around with a knife angled at his likely small penis, which is just...
Surprised she could find it. She's like, well, I went to cut off your dick, but just sort of a lot of fabric here.
It's like a Ken doll. Yeah, he doesn't take to that too kindly and promises he will kill her, and we all laugh. Empty threats. Violet and Dane reunite in the midst of an adrenaline-filled panic attack, and Rhiannon establishes herself as a trustworthy friend who we adore. Sees her as such a weak little girl, but gives no thought to her opinions or her independence. But they do have good banter that is edged in like a little bit of sexual tension. I'm okay with that. Squads are chosen, and our girl is put in Dane's squad with Rhiannon. But twist, shock, horror, Xaden pulls a switcheroo with another wing leader, so he is the captain now.
Uno reverse.
And then we see dragons. Fun fact, a group of dragons is known as a riot. The dragons look down upon the lowly trainees and decide to smite some for funsies. They crack me up.
Like, no you.
Oh God, look at that one's regrowth. It's like they throw up their flame. Training begins as we first learn about Dane's signet power, which again, for context, when you bond with a dragon, you get fun little wielding magical powers. Turns out Dane's special power is kind of like the opposite of Renesmee. He can read people's recent memories by caressing their faces, which is cute.
Renesmee.
There's some semi-confrontation between Dane, Violet, and Xaden, where Xaden literally does nothing, and Dane's all dramatic, going, "Run, Violet, now!" And it's like he's just standing there.
He's just vibing.
It seems a bit much, Dane, but okay. We end up in our first battle brief class. Violet pretends not to be as smart as she is, but that doesn't last long because our girl is historian Barbie.
Historian Barbie.
We learn of an attack in a village from the folk that they've been at war with, which reminds me, I haven't actually told you this, we're at war, and we have been so for like 600 years, hence the conscription. Yeah, the enemy in this scenario ride griffins. Our girl is just questioning things, and we know things are a little bit odd, but we get no time to mull that over because now we're sparring. Game on, Mole, okay?
We're all in the spar.
I like that much better.
I'm excelling at being a cadet if it's involving just sitting in the spa.
Just water. I'd be coming out like a prune, but that's fine.
Ellie's just starfishing to her heart's content.
She is. Right. Jack kills someone just because he can. And Violet fares as well as we expect. Because if you were to picture one of us in a sparring ring with a person of even just some skill, we are toast.
Yeah. I believe in one episode it was said that the way I would defend myself is I would just bend over and I would shit cum like a machine gun.
Shit cum.
Why don't I take a drink right at that point?
Georgia, what is your method of attack? Bryony's shitting cum out of her ass. What are you doing?
Bondage.
Georgia's like, I won't fight you, but I'll tie you down. We'll both have a good time, actually.
You just need to stand really still for me for a second.
It's either I'm going to attempt to, if they're down, tie them up, or I'm just going to tie myself up and just bend over and be like, I'm ready.
Yourself up. Sacrifice.
You can't help me if you're distracted by this ass.
I would do some weird form of interpretive dance and make them think that I've had a stroke. And then when they least expect it, I'd just come in with like a trigger point of some kind on the back of their neck, because I've seen that in movies. I don't know where. It would be like a guessing game.
You're just karate chopping them from every angle.
Stand still. Choose your character. You've got shit coming. No, coming shit. Either playing dead or bondage.
No, not coming shit. No.
I know.
You always wipe front to back, never back to front.
Yeah, so you've got
shitting cum.
Shitting cum.
Shitting cum. Okay, so you've got shitting cum, bondage, interpretive dance, trigger point, pick.
Oh my God, you're doing an interpretive dance while just staring at them, really, and then as you're trying to karate chop them as you get closer,
you just shit some cum.
And then you tie them up.
Some fancy knots. All right, that wasn't meant to be a discussion point, but here we are. We're moving on. Given the history of my medical background, because I am now a doctor, a healer, and I have watched all 19 seasons of Grey's Anatomy repeatedly, I think that Violet has dislocated her shoulder and perhaps torn her AC joint. So we've got a bit of a surgical repair, but it's fine because the healers can just magic that shit away. I think they call it mending, which is meant to be really fucking painful, but it's pretty darn
Apparently
cool.
they can mend buildings and shit.
Can they mend the economy? Asking for a friend.
Got really serious.
Can they mend us from this cost of living crisis?
Yeah,
Please.
fuck's sake. Can they mend the RBA? Violet returns to the barracks to find a little note snuck in from her sister, who has given her their dead brother's journal. Brennan has tips and tricks on how to survive Writing College 101. Also, the name Brennan for me is just forever associated with Will Ferrell's character Brennan in the iconic movie Step Brothers. There are so many Step Brothers references that I could delight you with, but I won't. We don't have time for that. That can be next week. Violet knows what she needs to do to survive. Poison them all.
Fantastic.
She sets out to find some special fucking plant, so she gets what she needs, and as she's climbing down, she realizes a secret meeting is being held directly underneath her. Xaden is conducting a meeting with all of the rebellion children, remember his 106 siblings, to get them to stick together and stay alive, which is very noble of him. But this is also illegal because no more than 3 of the rebellion children can mingle, so this is looking less like a menage a trois and more like an orgy.
Not his siblings.
Something's got to give. Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot they were his siblings. We took a sharp turn into incest, but we're pivoting away.
What's new? Let's go.
There's much chat about how they want to kill Violet for what her mother did, and Xaden is all, she's mine to handle.
You could handle me.
You can handle this ass.
Yeah, you could hand up in my ass.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of width for a tiny, tiny hole.
A lot of width for a tiny, tiny hole.
So they leave. Oh my god, now Georgia's fisting. Not herself, just hypothetically.
On
But it's, it's an audio forum, so I'm just letting the girls, or guys, or theys, listening to this. She's fisting in the air, like a fist pump. We're going to leave that there and we're moving on. So they leave. Violet jumps out of the tree and Xaden just appears out of the shadows. He mocks her, so she throws a knife at his head.
Yay! We'll play.
He then calls her a violent little thing. And I am obsessed. There's a lot of tension. It's sexual, it's secretive, it's kind of deadly, and whatever it is, I'm here for it. She promises she will not dob on him for the orgy of rebels, and now he owes her a favour. Next lesson, dragons. They come in many colours with many different tails. This year there is one giant black one, which of course Jack wants because he is clearly compensating for something. When Violet's shoulder is healed enough to fight again, she goes up against a fellow who was looking like me with a wine hangover, absently parenting and wishing for death. It turns out that Violet poisoned him with her special plant, so she wins, and the cycle of poisoning begins. But then she goes a little too far with her poison plans and ends up giving her opponent chronic diarrhea. Which, oops, guess who's here to help? Xaden. That's who. Shadow Daddy. There's more knife throwing and nicknames, and then body-to-body friction. He slowly disarms her while on top of her and starts showing her just how easy it would be to kill her if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to. She's having conflicted, sexy thoughts until he tells her he's known better poison masters. Daddy. Neckman. Dane is giving her a massage, and I am getting the ick. He has devised a plan to get her out into the scribe quadrant behind her back, and while she's not having it, she rightfully tells him how she's held her own so far while he mansplains how likely it is she will die. She gets it, but she doesn't like it, and I don't like it. But guys, we have made it to the Navarro Cheerleading College Ninja Warrior course. We have an obstacle course on steroids on a cliff. They have to finish the course or they're done, and also they're being timed, so this is like my worst nightmare. I mean, it's meant to replicate the skills needed to ride a dragon, but we all know that this is a course designed for has-been athletes and TV personalities to win favour with the public or get soaking wet. It's just perfect family TV viewing. So Tiernan who I haven't mentioned yet, but he's Jack's sidekick and we hate him. He fails the course. And he was like all macho and confident, all the male confidence and no skill. Shocker. Our girl makes it halfway through the course when a girl from their squad falls to her death. Again, do not get attached. We have far too much death to come. Violet goes for a nighttime stroll and runs into Shadow Daddy. He tells her, maybe if you stop sulking in your self-pity, you'd see that you have everything you need to scale the gauntlet. And yeah, fierce burn, but also kind of true.
Yeah.
And thanks, Daddy.
Tough love.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dane once again tries to talk her out of the gauntlet challenge, but Violet has had enough. She completes the Ninja Warrior course in a pretty unorthodox way. She uses the ropes and her knives to heave herself up, and we all cheer until Amber Mavis, which doesn't that just sound like a cunty name?
It does.
She accuses her of cheating. You know, that simply will not do for our Violent Violet because our girl has memorized the motherfucking codex and quotes to her the exemption. Fuck you, Amber. Now it's time for presentation. I've just pictured it as like baboons presenting to each other where they just bare their asses. All the dragons are lined up. No. Okay.
Yeah, surprising twist of events is actually the dragons holding their ass cheeks out to the students.
Do you like my rectum? Time for presentation, which is where the first years get to meet the dragons for the first time. It's likely that if a dragon takes a disliking to you, they will burn you alive. Our squad starts walking and there's bickering and there's a few people in this group that we don't like and we don't care for. They discover a feather-tail dragon and the humans being dumb fucks don't know much about feather-tails other than that they're small.
Very small.
And it's here where we see an itty-bitty golden dragon. And I love her immediately. Immediately. Two green dragons engage in like a staring contest with Violet because they can smell her fancy dragon best. And honestly, in this moment, dragons are just big fire dogs. Yeah. I fucking love them. We've reached threshing, which is where the first years bond with their dragon and try not to get killed. Violet doesn't feel particularly bonded to any dragon and she's struggling to find where to go next. And you know her. She's Dora the Explorer. Up the fucking tree she goes. At the top of the tree, she spots the tiny little golden dragon frolicking in an open space. Because you know she is. She's frolicking.
I love her so much.
Because she's got paws. She does have
paws.
As she starts descending, she hears voices approaching. And it's Tien and Oren and Jack. They are planning to hunt down the gold dragon as it's a liability. And what in the actual fuck?
Fuck. It's giving cunt and not in like a good cunt way, slay way.
A bad cunt.
Yeah.
Violet sees red and I fucking love this. These three dickheads have literally been threatening and actively trying to kill her since day one. But this is the first time that she gets mad and it's when they come for the small dragon. She says, fuck this, and tries to beat them to the dragon, likely doing some ligament damage to her ankle, but it's fine because I'm the doctor and I'll heal her up afterwards. It's all good. She gets there in time, but the dragon doesn't leave, despite Violet telling her to fly away. And it's like, can she fly?
This whole interchange where she's like, go, the dragon's like,
hi, I have socks.
I have paws.
Oh my god, imagine if she just sits and she's like shaking. Oh my god, it's too much. Anyway, the three musketeers rock up and Violet tells them that they will have to go through her first. And I was like, yes, they fucking will. And they probably will because you're on one leg. Jack is like, sure, sounds fun. But guess what? Daddy's here.
I was so excited when I tell you that I physically clenched when Xaden just popped up with his dragon seagull. Oh, amazing, brilliant. So he is basically narrating to help her and we're all like shook. We're like, oh my god, he loves her. And she's just protecting little Goldie, you know, and she starts fighting with Jack Sparrow, tires for your car and an Oreo and she ends up beating their ass.
Oh my god. She wasn't joking when she was just going to pick a random word.
She does end up injuring herself even more though. And when it's just her and Tires left, the giant fuck off black dragon who hasn't had a rider in decades lands behind her and tucks the little golden dragon under its wing. And then it talks to Violet in her mind.
The way that I was like,
the dragon burns Tires and then he chooses Violet and we all scream. Our big dragon is called Tan, as in Bondi Sands Tan. He has a long name, but no, he is funny and she's like really shooketh that he chose her and they have fun banter back and forth. This whole book like is just banter. He's so funny.
Tan is Joe from Princess Diaries.
Yes,
you
that's
That's my
exactly
girl.
it.
Yes.
You will answer to me.
But he's also
Yeah.
like a little bit grumpier. And there's something
Yeah.
about grumpy old men.
I have
know.
diplomatic immunity in 47 countries, including Puerto Rico.
He basically is like, babe, you are strongly fierce and smart, and you totally stood up for the little guy back there. Pop off, sis. Slay, if you will. And they do like a little show, and they land with the rest of the team. And Goldie, turns out she can also talk to Violet as well in her head. Shocking twist. And everyone is like, oh, what the fuck? That is crazy. We learn that Goldie's name is Adidas, and our girl has bonded with both.
She's got a sick tan, wearing some new Adidas sneakers. She's ready to go.
We told you the names at the beginning of the episode. If you decided to skip that, that's on you. But Jack Sparrow, he's not impressed by this. You know, she's stolen his rum. Our girl, she stabbed him in the arm, and she's like, suck my ass, Jack, honestly. And everyone is still losing their mind over her having 2 dragons, but fuck it up. And the dragon leaders have to discuss whether she can have 2 or not. And we get this moment where Tan is like, stay close to the wing leader until we return. Tan orders. Surely he meant stay with the squad leader. You heard what I said. And it's giving stay with the High Lord.
Oh my god. Is Tan the cereal?
Yeah.
He is. But yes, so Rhea and the rest of the gang get back, and Dan's there. And he pulls Violet aside and starts telling her that she has to choose little Goldie, and that the other dragons will make her choose. And she is like, get the fuck out of my face, you fuck. We agree. He thinks that Xaden has rigged the threshing, and Xaden rocks up and is like, I didn't step in. I thought she was reckless. And we get this moment. He turns that stare on me, and I feel the impact all the way to my toes. And I would do it again. I raise my chin. Well, the fuck aware, Xaden roars, losing his temper for the first time since I met him on the parapet. I pull in a quick breath, and Xaden does the same, as if he's just as shocked by his outburst as I am.
Yeah.
Stop it. Turns out that Xaden and our girl are connected now because their dragons are mated. And because the link between mate and rider is so strong, it can kill. Yep. So that's cray-cray. Our girl basically gets like her sick rider tattoo on her back, and Dane kisses her, except she really decides in this moment she's not here for it. She's a bit like, ew, you taste like smelly chicken. I would rather not.
Smelly chicken.
Yeah.
I like this because for the most part, up until now, she's been like, oh, Dane, childhood crush Dane. He looks so great now. Oh, Dane. Even though he doesn't think I can do anything, but that's fine. Dane. And now she's like, actually, it wasn't that deep.
Yeah, ew, you have actually quite bad breath. But yes, so everything is weird now, and she's like top dog, you know? Everyone who didn't like her before, besides Jack Sparrow and those other dickheads, are ready to help her. And our girl didn't feel anything when Dane kissed her, but when Xaden looks at her, she gets full-blown fanny flutters.
I'm so excited about this development.
So they take the dragons out on a ride, and Tan is like holding her in place on his back with energy, but she's like, no, I want to do it on my own. And then we insert a footnote which says that she falls off a lot.
A lot.
Imogen ends up, who's like one of Xaden's siblings, she's training our girl in weights, and like they kind of get along but not really, and it's kind of weird. But our girl does miss being a scribe. She wants to go back to the books, which don't blame her. She's
reading over cardio, absolutely.
Our girl is training, and Tan is like a protective dad, and he hates Dane, and we love it. You're a menace. Stop it, I say. Tell him if he harms you, I'll scorch the ground where he stands. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Tan. I love
Again,
it.
diplomatic immunity in 47 countries, including Puerto Rico.
I also really love the fact that Tan calls her Silver One. I think it's really cute. Dane and our girl have a fight because he's, again, a fucking cunt and just thinks that she is so weak and that she will die. And she's like, mate, I am bonded with 2 fucking dragons who will eat you where you fucking stand. Suck my dick.
Absolutely.
And he does. He gets on all fours right there.
She gets a strap on out.
Ellie is clutching at her pearls.
You said all fours. You didn't say on his knees, all fours. How fucking short is she?
Anyway, so our girl is dreaming, and Tan all of a sudden is in her mind screaming at her to wake up. Like he is roaring. Be like, wake the fuck up, bitch. It's not wake up, Jeff. It's wake up violence. It's wake up, Silver. Oh my god.
It's the Silver Wiggle.
Anyway, she ends up waking up, and she realizes that a bunch of Unbound, including Oreo, he's back, that motherfucker, are trying to kill her.
Yeah.
She like tries to fight them off, but it's no use. And just when she thinks like this is it, Goldie is in her mind and trying to protect her, and energy zings through her and she freezes everyone in place. And then she fucking runs for it. Goldie can't hold it for long though, and then just in the nick of time, Xaden is there, and he is like death to all.
Oh, daddy.
Xaden's gaze snaps to mine, his onyx eyes staring in shock for no longer than a millisecond before he strides forward, his shadows streaming before him as he stands at my side. He snaps his fingers and the room illuminates, lights hovering above us. You're all fucking dead. His voice is eerily calm and all the scarier for it.
That's so hot.
I'm going to be physically sick. Anyway, Xaden kills everyone and I love him because then we get these like little moments. Come on, violence. His fingers are warm under my chin as he tilts my head up so our gazes collide. Wait, is that a hint of panic swirling in his eyes? And his gaze shifts to my throat and narrows at what I imagine has to be the purple imprint of a hand. I should have killed them slower. Squealing, squawking, slay, smash. He then checks her ribs. He's trying to get close to her tits, but she's like, I'm broken, so please don't. And in doing so, he like sees her bare flesh and she sees the hunger in his eyes, and I fucking die. It's the way that I look at like a roast beef on like a Sunday night with a glass of red.
Oh, that's very civilized of you. So I look at my KFC.
Anyway, he then ties her fucking boots for her, and then I just die all over. I've gotten resuscitated and then I've died again.
Nurse Ellie's in the corner being like, still dead.
We find out that our little Goldie girl is only 2 years old, and because of that, she can gift her powers to her bonded for only a short period of time, and any longer can basically kill everyone, so that's great.
So good.
She stopped time for Violet, and they agree not to tell anyone, but we also find out that Xaden, Violet, and the mated dragon pair can all hear each other in their minds if they choose to. We basically find out that Violet has seen someone leave the room at the time when she was getting attacked, and it turns out that it was dickhead Amber.
She was, in fact, giving cunt.
She was giving cunt.
Mm-hmm. Cunty vibes.
Dane doesn't believe our girl though, and Xaden tells everyone at their morning meeting, and Amber's basically put on trial. Tan shows them our girl's memories of like seeing her, and she's burnt like a crisp, so that's very tasty. But I am also very sad at this point because Amber's dragon mourns her, and that really affected me. I was really sad about the fact that he was like, I can't save you, bro. See you on the other side, and now you sit in the corner like this.
I really I can't help you here. I told
now
you not
he's
to do
just
that,
like
and you did.
a sad little dog who's lost his owner.
I know.
And now
It's very sad.
baby.
But anyway, yeet past that. Slay. Xaden puts a first year called Liam with our girl for protection. He's cute. We like him. Also part of the rebellion children as well. He tells Violet about how the kids were all fostered, and she's starting to find out some weird stuff about the rebellion executions, and things are not coming up Millhouse. No. Little stuff is happening, and Xaden's shadows appearing to help our girl pick up her dropped quill, in brackets teehee, a scroll of a siege that isn't discussed at all in class, in brackets weird. Xaden says he is annoyingly aware of everything that our girl does, and she does not read at all between the lines and does not realize that he is constantly watching her. I do though. But at this point, she also sees the scars that are like littered all over Xaden's back, and Tan says that she's fucking ready for
magic,
for something. Don't know what that note.
Wow.
She's ready.
This isn't the book for that.
The Dragon's Bride. Anyway, she starts channeling that night, and the energy feels like lust. Guess what? Mum and Dad, dragons, they're having sexy time. Liam is outside of Violet's room, and he's like, are you okay? Because she's looking at him like she is about to rip off his clothes and eat him like the Sunday roast. And she's like, whoa, I've got to get out of here. So she legs it, right? And of course, when she goes outside, Xaden is there. And he's smoking what I presume is their equivalent to weed. And he's like, it helps keeps, the distance.
Because, Mum and Dad are just fucking right now.
Yeah, and they haven't switched off communication, so we're just here.
All of it.
Oh my God, trauma.
But she's just like, hubba, let's go. And okay, get ready for this this fucking scene because he's teaching her to shield against the dragons. Everyone, get ready. A smile curves his mouth and my gaze drops to his lips. Say please. Violet says, are you always this difficult? Xaden says, only when I know I have something you need. What can I say? I like making you squirm. It's like a sweet little slice of payback for what you've put me through these last couple of months. Violet, what have I put you through? Xaden, you've scared me nearly to death once or twice, so I think saying please is a fair request. Violet says, as you prefer, Xaden. I smile sweetly up at him and inch a little closer. Would you pretty please teach me how to shield before I accidentally climb you like a tree and we both wake up with regrets? Xaden says, I am firmly in control of my faculties. He smiles again. And I feel it like a caress. And since he asked so nicely, he adjusts his stance and brings both his hands up to my cheeks, cradling my face before sliding them back to hold my head. Close your eyes. It requires touching me? My eyes flutter shut at the sensation of his skin against mine. Not at all. Just one of the perks of not thinking too clearly. You have incredibly touchable skin.
He adjusts his stance because his schlong.
Yeah.
His penis is erect.
And it's the caress.
Yeah.
It's the caress. But yes, she does end up shielding and he's like, wow, you're fucking brilliant. And then we follow that whole moment up with this, which is Xaden says, damn it, touching you was a bad idea. Violet, the worst. Xaden, kissing you would be Violet, calamitous. Xaden, we'll both regret it. Violet, naturally. Xaden, fuck it. And then they fucking kiss.
When they say fuck it.
It's the fuck it moment.
It's the fuck it.
There is tongues, there's teeth, but then energy zings through her and there is thunder and Xaden abruptly stops. He tells her to leave because it's not her feelings that she's feeling right now. He thinks that it's Tan's. But life continues on and Dane and our girl end up making up and he apologizes. She finds out that Jack Sparrow is going to challenge her on the mats today. Sounds dirty. She's got like a vial of something though, and it's supposed to be like a super clean fight, but it's obviously not. And when it looks like Jack is about to win the fight, she shoves the vial into his mouth and turns out he is allergic to oranges and the vial contained orange juice.
She's a genius.
She's also not like planning to kill anyone. She's just like, I just want to
fuck you guys up a bit.
No killing blows. Everyone else is like, you're dead. You're dead.
Everyone
you're
look
dead.
under your seat. You're all dead.
Dead.
So yes, when she wakes up, the fight was that bad that she's almost fucking dying. Xaden is there when she wakes up. We get this moment. It's Xaden. His hair is tousled like he's been tugging at it and he's flipping a dagger end over end, catching it by the tip without so much as looking at it before sheathing it at his side. Oranges. I died.
When he's just like, really?
Oranges. Xaden does a Rowan Whitethorn and totally turns down our girl, and she's like a little bit hurt by it, and he's now on protect violence duty, all on his lonesome. The tension now begins though, so buckle the fuck in. Training. Him on top of her on top of him making her a dagger. They go to fly during classes one day and run into her mum. She is still a cunty cunt, and she questions Violet on her inability to wield, and we fucking hate that for her.
Fuck you, Lilith.
Well, Mum, I've got 2 dragons and you've got 1.
And a shadow daddy.
Check
Slay.
on that.
The next day is like the final task to find and acquire one thing that would be the most advantageous to the enemies regarding the war effort. The squads don't have the leaders for help, so our squad puts Imogen in charge, and Violet comes up with an idea to break into her mother's office and steal some information. The team end up like pulling it the fuck off in some spectacular moment. It's brilliant. And Xaden is absolutely fucking chuffed because get this, they're like at the front of the lecture hall and they're showing everyone their giant map that they've stolen of everything, and Xaden's at the back, right? We get this. Absolute mayhem breaks out, some of the riders rushing the stage as professors battle their way towards us, but I ignore it all as Xaden tilts one corner of that beautiful mouth and tips an imaginary hat to me, bowing his head for a heartbeat before bringing his gaze back to hold mine. Satisfaction fills every ounce of my being as I smile up at him. It doesn't matter how the vote comes down. I've already won.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. I never thought someone tipping a metaphorical cap would be that hot.
Yes. The team go on their like winning flight to the front lines, and Mira is there. The post is close to Rhiannon's family home, so our girl Rhi and Mira sneak out to go see Rhi's family. Mira and our girl bond, and ... Xaden appears.
Yeah, I love how it's like, oh, I wonder how long our dragons can be apart, and he just appears out of the shadow and is like, not fucking long.
It's like forced proximity, but kind of not at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
brilliant.
So we're at the outpost, and Dane and Xaden are at each other's throats when all of a sudden, Xaden is like just talking in her head.
Oh.
Xaden is like, I'm just going to fucking wink at you and act like this is nothing. Dane is still fuming that Xaden is even there at all, and Violet is like, our dragons are mated, just calm down. But Xaden says, you never considered that it was you I couldn't stay away from?
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
I'm going to be sick.
I'm going to be absolutely sick. The boys are so busy measuring dicks that Mira then lays into Dane and then Xaden. But before the conversation can go any further, they're being attacked by Griffin Riders. Xaden literally drags Violet out and kisses her to distract her as Tane arrives and like picks her up to go because she's like, I want to stay with Mira. And he's like, no, we've got to go. Yeah, it's a whole time. 2 days later, Xaden says he is not trying to ruin her anymore, which is nice, I guess. But she is like, when did this change? And he's like, maybe it was when I saw Oren holding a knife to your throat. Or maybe it was when I realized the bruises on your neck were fingerprints and wanted to kill them all over again just so I could do it slowly. Maybe it was the first time I recklessly kissed you, or when I realized I'm fucked because I can't stop thinking about doing more than just kissing you. Does it even matter when, as long as it changed between us?
He can ruin me, actually. That's fine.
Keep those intentions. Violet then figures out how to speak to Xaden in his mind and decides to start asking Xaden like random fucking questions about him to get to know him. Like, what's his favorite dessert? And he's like, what the fuck, man?
It's like
But
she's the man with the cheese questions.
Do you like cheese? But we have no more time to think about this because it's war games time. Okay, it's like capture the flag but with an egg. Xaden and Tan have designed a saddle for Violet. And Xaden is like up in her space, and Violet says that the next time they kiss, it can't be to make Dane angry. And Xaden is like, oh my god, next time? Stop it.
Okay, bitch.
They are in the air, and Jack and Liam are in a battle. Jack stabs Liam, causing him to fall. Like, Xaden's made a saddle for Violet. No one else has a saddle. They're all just there holding on to, like, some ridges on their back. You really didn't think of a saddle beforehand? Anyway, Violet uses Ardana to pause time and just gets to Liam in time. And Violet is like, call me the fucking iceberg in Titanic because it's time to fuck up Jack.
Oh. Oh my god. It's so timely with the submarine as well. And, oh, wow.
Oh, we get this quote. I am the sky and the power of every storm that has ever been. I am infinite.
Oh my god, she's like me when I'm a doctor. Wow.
Smash.
Lightning splits the sky and we say goodbye to Jack.
Toodaloo.
The dragons land and Violet quickly vomits, and Dane arrives and is like, oh my god, it's okay, sweet baby, you don't have to use your power. But Xaden appears and is like, get the fuck away from her with that nonsense. You're obviously a weapon now. We're in a war. Like, you're gonna have to kill people. And you killed a dickhead. So, potato, no regrets. Xaden comes to her room that night as she is throwing daggers at a mannequin with perfect precision.
She's throwing hands.
She's throwing absolute hands.
She's just dancing.
Muzzing.
She's crumping.
Doing the Macarena.
Yeah, like, hey, what's up? You want to talk to me? Sorry, I don't have time right now.
I'm busy. I'm fucking busy.
Starts progressing to the nut bush.
Oh, man.
He joins in. We're in a line now.
Xaden is like, fuck, you are so hot doing the Macarena in your bedroom.
Like.
Zaden is obviously attracted to her, but trying to keep some lines in place. And Violet's like, there, I will snort those metaphorical lines right up. I see the edge you're on, and I'm going to shove you off it.
We're edging, we're snorting lines. We're
Well.
fisting anuses and we're shitting cum.
Anyways, welcome to Fucktown, destination we're going to need to go to IKEA tomorrow.
Oh.
They go from being against the door to her legs wrapped around his waist to, like, clearing the desk. An honourable mention to how fucking hot desperation sex is.
Oh my god, yes.
We get some quotes. If I get my hands on you, really, honestly get my hands on you, I don't know if I'll be able to stop. You're so fucking hot. It might damn us both, but I can't wait to feel you come around my cock.
Oh.
Oh, absolutely fucking feral for that.
Look at you. You're fucking beautiful, Violet. Let go for me. I can't. It's too much. Violet says Greenpeace who and literally causes a lightning strike with her orgasm. They take it from the desk to her armoire where they promptly break the furniture, like splintered off its hinges. They then go to the windowsill because she broke her window, and as she orgasms, she just lets them all lighten loose and sets her curtains on fire.
Oh my god, I love that for her.
They are then on the floor, and he looks at her orgasm-induced weather event and is like, beautiful. Post-fuck, Violet sees his scars again. Zayden admits that there are 107 scars for the deal he made to save the children. He's pro-life, apparently. Super pro-life, honestly. He made the deal so that there was a chance for them to survive. Zayden agrees to spend the night in her bed, but says she cannot fall in love with him. Babe, too fucking late.
Shouldn't have made her a saddle then, Zayden. Should not have made a saddle.
Shouldn't have come in here with your waggly fucking shadow hands.
Zayden is gone when she wakes up the next morning, but he left her flowers at her bedside, so get absolutely fucked. We're in love.
Exactly.
The next day, Professor Carr knocks on her door and it's time to, like, train her magic. And obviously Violet is, like, a little bit scared because, like, she's seen Carl snap someone else's neck before, so that seems super casual. But Tan is the beautiful guard dog that we love, and he says, I'll burn him alive before he takes a single step towards you because, again, he has diplomatic immunity in 47 countries.
He does.
Carl makes, like, a mildly ableist comment about nature finding balance between Violet's physical ailments and Tan's power. But Kara's like, you are an asset, but be careful, like, stay loyal because you and Zayden could be a threat to national security.
Interesting.
Zayden is then in her room again, and Violet is like, let's not be weird about destroying my badge and local wildlife. Violet does get Zayden to tell her, like, one of his secrets before she sees a note coming out of the binding of a book. It's a note from her dad about, like, missing information. Weird vibes. Their mutual grief over their dead dads is, like, not enough to kill the sexual tension. Turns out Violet is. I appreciate that she sets very clear boundaries about her capacity to keep emotions out of sex, but we get this interchange. Violet's like, we both needed to blow off some steam, right? And we did. And Zayden's like, right. And Violet's like, so the next time I see you, I'll just act as cool as you are right now and pretend that I'm not remembering what it feels like to have you sliding inside me. And Zayden's like, and I'll just pretend that I'm not remembering the feel of your soft thighs around my hips or those breathy little sounds you make right before you come. But like, and I'll ignore the memory of your hands biting into my hips, pinning me to the armoire so you could take me deeper in your mouth or my throat. Easy. It's like, then I guess I'll ignore the imagery of how hot and slick you feel around my cock and how you cry out for more until all I can think about is how to push every physical limit to be exactly what you need. At this stage, all three of us, we're just sitting in the corner just like, mouth gaping, pearls clutched, legs clutched.
Yeah. Clothes.
Wow.
Clothes. Pearls are clutched. Mouths are agape. Legs are also agape.
That's a lot of gaping. I don't know what time is in this book, but anyways, it's now reunification day. We quickly realise that if today is hard for Violet because it's like the anniversary of Brennan's death, then all of the Resistance kids are also mourning because their parents got yeeted today. Nevertheless, Liam is there by her side and it's beautiful and I love him. Oh. Violet finds Zayden moping on the parapet and realises she loves him and is like, you know what, I'm ready to risk it all, baby, let's go. Zayden tries to hold back, but that punani is too good. Violet goes with Zayden back to his room and tells Zayden that she loves him and he is like, oh my god, let me lick your pussy in appreciation.
Nom 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 nom.
Violet is like, oh god. And Zayden's like, which one are you calling out for? Because it's just you and me in this room, Vi, and I don't share.
Oh.
Violet's like, if I can walk out of this room, it will be against my will. They are on their fifth fuck of the evening. when Garrick bangs on the door and says that they're under attack. And they get dressed at like 4 a.m, but then we just find out like it's the final war games. Something about the way that like Dane's dad looks at Xaden when delivering their location for the games is giving iffy vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Xaden makes a harness for Ardana so she can hook to the bottom of Ted's saddle.
Oh my
I
god,
wanna cry.
screaming.
Oh my god.
Xaden decides to fuck up Dane's day and takes Liam, Imogen, and Violet from Dane's squad. Dane gets really, really angry at this idea and does not want this to happen. And they argue, but ultimately it's Violet's choice. Violet's like, well, I'm going with Xaden. I've got to, dragon mates. And this is where things start to get even more iffy because Dane says he will miss her and then they're off. And it is at this moment that I start getting From Blood and Ash vibes.
Oh
See,
dear.
me with my rose-colored glasses on, I'm like, oh, I won't miss you, Dane.
Liam and Violet are the only first years with their group. Liam, even asks how she's feeling with all the Xaden stuff, and their friendship is really fucking beautiful. Xaden then privately, gives Violet a leg massage when they've stopped somewhere, and he says, I'm going to keep you. You're mine, Violet. And Violet says, only if you're mine. And Xaden says, I've been yours for longer than you could ever imagine. Interesting.
Screaming.
And then this lovely sensual moment quickly turns into something different because a bunch of Griffin riders are there, and Xaden's like, oh my god, guys, you're early. Oh look, here comes the From Blood and Ash twist.
Oh dear.
Xaden is working with the Griffin riders, but there is a nearby horde of Venom, aka random-ass dangerous magic wielders from fairy tales. And not only are they real, but everyone in this group, including the dragons, knew about it. Xaden explains that he has been supplying the Griffin riders with weapons so that they can fight the Venom, the Navarro cheer squad management. They know about the Venom, but as long as they're not in their college campus, they don't care.
That's a little bit too real.
Xaden gives Violet a new special dagger which can be used to kill Venom, and it's funny because she saw one of those on her mother's desk.
Oh.
Violet is like, nah, I don't love you anymore. Everything is built on lies. And Xaden is like, I call bullshit. They fly to the fort where they're meant to be doing war games, and Tan apologizes for deceiving her. And she's just considering everything she knows. She remembers her dad's no and thinks that someone removed the real history from all of the archives. They were just banning books. If we don't talk about it, they're not real. Cool. When they arrive at the outpost, they realize it's empty and they find a note. And it turns out Dane had been reading Violet's memories and Xaden's squad has been sent there to die.
Oh, good. My God. When I tell you that I was like, Dane, you better fucking run, cunt, because I'm coming for you.
Let alone when Violet gets a hold of you, when Tan gets a hold of Dane. Diplomatic community in 47 countries.
It's fucked up little Renesmee powers of his.
Oh, so talking about Dane's powers. Once we know that his power is that he can see into your mind, but he has to touch you, I went back and I looked through the entire book for every time.
Yeah, you did.
Dane touched her face 9 times and touched her in general 24 times. When Dane talks about his powers, he says he just has to touch. But when Xaden's like, did Dane touch you after I told you about us flying out here? Did he touch your face? So if Xaden's right and it's just that he has to touch his face, then there's only the specific times that it's noted where he's caressing her face, touching her cheek. But if it's just touching in general, that's a whole other ball game. And then also, how far back in time can he go when he's touching your face? Is it just the last day, the last couple hours? Or if he's touching your face, can he just dig for as long as he wants, as long as he's touching?
That's
terrifying.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And how long has he been relaying information from touching Violet to his dad?
Fucking traitor.
I knew he gave me the ick.
And then is his dad the bad guy and allied with Violet's mum as the bad guy? Or is Violet's mum not actually the bad guy? There's people that think that the storm that hits Violet when she's crossing the parapet, because her mum controls storms and it's her mum trying to kill her, but her mum is actually Violet's used to pain. She will survive. She's more equipped to deal with this than most people. And so it's is she trying to get Violet killed, or is she trying to put Violet in a place where she can gain the skills and get a bonded dragon to protect her?
All that. But does she have to be such a bitch about it?
Yeah. The gang has a choice to make, basically. They can either go and be safe and these innocent civilians will will be attacked by venom and die, or, they stay and fight and probably die. They decide that they would rather fight and die than run. Things take a turn as Wyvern appear. Violet and Tan use their power to tempt the venom into following them, but then Liam and his dragon take a blow that was meant for Tan and Violet. Liam goes flying and Day is being torn into by the wife. Liam shouts to Violet that you have to take out the riders, but it's lost in the agony of this moment. Day dies, which means Liam is dying. Tan takes them to Day's body, and Violet tries to carry Liam there so that they can be together in death, but they fall short. She's holding Liam's dying body and says, "Thank you, Liam. Thank you for being my shadow. Thank you for being my friend." And he says, "It's been my honor." It gets worse because Xaden arrives and lifts Liam into his arms saying, "I know, brother," and carries him to Day, and then Liam dies.
Oh my god.
The pain. How dare they kill off the golden retriever?
He was so beautiful.
I got attached.
Xaden has to hold the wyvern off so that Violet can fly off, but there are like 3 venom clinging to Tan. Violet unfortunately gets stabbed in the side and the blade is poisoned. Sick. Violet manages to kill the bitch who stabbed our puppy, and we realize that if you kill the rider, their creations fall too. So Violet is like, game on, moles. Violet uses magic and dances on like the edge of burnout, and Tan is like, I will die with you because we are besties. Violet manages to take out her target, but she ends up blacking the fuck out and falling from Tan's back. She comes to mid-fall as Ardana catches her.
Oh my god, the baby.
Violet spends the rest of the chapter in and out of consciousness, hearing like bits of conversation as decisions are made about not to return back to Basquiat College, but to go to a secret rebel location to get her healed. And now we get Xaden's point of view, and he has not left Violet's side. Tan, never the one to miss an opportunity to be sassy, has spent 3 days basically shit-talking Xaden for Violet's suffering. I love you.
I love him. I love him so much.
We get nearly a full page of Xaden's inner monologue about falling for Violet and how he should have done everything different, but then Violet opens her eyes. At first, she appears to have like some memory loss, which is, I mean, really fair after a 3-day nap. Also, side note, apparently like Ardana's gift is gone and she is also huge.
Oh my god, it's like another Twilight thing. Remember how like the baby ages like really fucking quick?
We discover that Xaden is really about that ombre hair life, and we get this quote, I can't even articulate what it is about the strands that pushes me straight into need to fuck her now territory, and I'm too busy fighting to keep my hands at my side to question the why of it. She exists and I get turned on. I've come to accept that particular truth over the last year.
Bless him.
Violet is in like to help with the whole fight against the venom thing, but when Xaden goes to touch her, she is like, no, I don't trust you anymore. Now, when your man and or woman and or non-binary hoe fucks up, if they do not say these words, then you leave them. Okay?
Yes.
This is the apology. I'll tell you anything you want to know and everything you don't. I'll spend every single day of my life earning back your trust. But like, and if it's not possible? And Xaden says, you still love me. It's possible. I'm not afraid of hard work, especially not when I know just how sweet the rewards are. I would rather lose this entire war than live without you. And if that means I have to prove myself over and over again, then I'll do it. You gave me your heart and I'm keeping it.
Oh, screaming!
Xaden.
Someone is impatient and knocking on the door, and turns out it's fucking Brennan. That is where Fourth Wing ends, with Brennan just being like, what's up? I'm actually not dead. Sick. Hi, welcome to the rebellion. I've actually known Xaden for a while now. So you know how he said that like he's loved you for longer than you can imagine? I wonder if that has anything to do with it. I wonder if I told you about her.
I just punched my bookshelf.
Just
Sorry. Got excited. Huh?
Look, so many theories. Is Violet's mum trying to kill her? Did her dad die because of heart problems after losing Brennan? Or was Brennan like healing him and that's what was keeping him alive? Or was he assassinated?
Oh.
Like JFK.
Oh, what?
Wasn't expecting that out of all the references we made.
Anyway, music?
You need to check out the playlist on Spotify. It's Fourth Wing, Zayd and Violet. There's actually some really good shit in there. But a couple of songs that I really like. First of all, this one's by Suki, Waterhouse.
Oh, yeah.
It's called The Devil I Know. The lyrics are just Zayd and Violet's relationship in a nutshell. God, you have the blackest eyes. Look here all you want. I smoke out your darkest side. Can't turn water into wine. Never asked you to, so is it your place or mine? Like, tell me I'm the one you can't forget. Back in hell, at least I'm comfortable. Need your body when my fire's cold. Hand to heart, I'm gonna stay faithful to the devil I know.
Oh, love it.
Fill my mind with dirtiness. I'll invade your dreams. I'll be S and you'll be X. Because Sorengale and Zayden. But anyway, I quite like that. Then my next one is of course, my girl, T-Swift. So, The Great War, which I feel like is a pretty obvious choice because this is a war, competing cheerleading colleges. So, here we go. My knuckles were bruised like violets. Okay. It's essentially like what they would do if they survived the war together.
So, I got us some fan art.
Just a bit.
Sometimes when new books come out, it takes a while for the fan art to catch up. Not the case in this circumstance. I've tried to specifically pick out fan art from the legions that are out there of just specific moments from this book. For example, Castle in the Sky. So they have done the parapet, the sparring ring, Zayden saving Violet, and also Liam's death, just FYI.
God, that looks so good.
Yeah, Castle in the Sky's done fucking phenomenal shit. By Hmmr.art. This person has done they've done several, but in particular I'm referencing Zayden and Violet meeting for the first time. They've also done a really phenomenal parapet one as well. Then we've got this person has done a parapet, which is just like gorgeous, and that is Llibiarts.
Oh.
Then Hachandraws did almost like a comic strip of the forest scene where she throws the knife at Zayden and he's like, you missed, and she's like, step back, and she did not in fact miss.
Oh yes, post orgy. Right, I'm with you.
Yeah, post orgy with the 107 children.
God.
By AGN_art, there's Zayden and Violet sparring.
Oh, hello.
Oh, God, that looks sexual. I need it.
So Blueillusionart, they have done this particular one of the threshing. So it's like trying to show how actually fucking giant Tan is. But then also by Rosie Thorns 88, she's done a threshing as well, where like Tan looks a little bit more serpentine than I was expecting, but Adana's just really cute and I love her. Emilia.mildner, she has done several, by the way. She's done some really gorgeous Tan and Adana, and that's just fantastic. But she's also done the fucking. It's just really good. By CLUDI_A_, Violet with her lightning. And then Because I Like Pain by Hmmr.art. They've done one of Liam dying.
I don't need another one.
Believe it or not, the last one by, well, I really wasn't expecting that to be Doctor's Saurix. Zayden carrying Liam to Dave's body.
Oh, good. Cheery note to leave us on.
So that's just, a couple fan arts. None of that is AI, because again, we don't support AI.
We do not.
Well, everyone, head down to your local rodeo, your local farm, and just get that fishing rod out and reel yourselves in some fucking cowboys, because you know what we're covering next? The Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver.
We're buckle bunnies.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. We're starting off with Flawless, and then we're covering the whole series up to Reckless. And we are very fucking excited.
So excited.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you for sticking with us. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, if you haven't already, at A Book and a Bev podcast.
Please rate, like, and subscribe. We hear that helps.
We love and appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.